right. Good morning, everybody. We are live from the Pink Shell here for our Saturday morning walk around. And Bill, the general manager, is with us along with Gary. And Bill, why don't you kind of tell us a little bit more about what you do and what Gary does, and we'll get you guys together here on the camera.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I'm Bill Waichulis, general manager here at the Pink Shell.
I'm the front office director.
What does front office director mean?
Take care of the front office here at the Pink Shell, welcome our guests.
Gotcha. Well, we appreciate you guys inviting us. And Bill, why don't you start off by telling us, it's been 4 months now, what you saw the first day that you came back to the Pink Shell. Could be the most popular resort, at least one of the most popular resorts here on the island.
Sure. I mean, when we, obviously getting back, our big thing was we had 11 associates on the property. So our big thing was getting them back on the property to get them out of here. So the night of the storm, the 28th, I tried to come over with my son and 2 4-wheel drive trucks. We made it to about Winkler, and the truck started swaying in the water. So we turned around that night. We couldn't make it any further. So we text the guys and let them know that we're going to be there first thing in the morning to get them. And so 6 a.m. the next day, the 29th, we drove over 4-wheel drive, and it was pretty emotional, seeing everything. But we had to we brought racket straps and chains, and we had to move just to get a path down the beach and 4-wheel drive low to be able to get through the 5 feet of sand on the road, get here and get our 11 associates loaded in the back and get them off site. So that was our first day back here. It was pretty emotional, obviously, for everybody. Emotional, our associates, they were scared and wanted to get off the island. But many of them, the reason why they were staying here in the resort is they lived in mobile homes.
Okay.
Or they lived here on the beach and were not wanting to go to a shelter. So obviously our buildings are newer buildings. This building's 2004. It's not going anywhere. As we saw even in Ian, this building did what it's supposed to do. The breakaway walls broke and the building stayed completely intact. So they were very safe. It was just obviously seeing those pictures is pretty amazing. And as we walk around, I'll show you where the storm surge got up to give you a perception.
How high were they when the storm came through? How high did they go up in the hotel?
So initially they were on the first floor of the units. They moved up to 3 just to be safe.
Gotcha.
So as the water really rose, so this section we're in here in the portage share, there's a spot I can show you. But just imagine the water was all the way almost to the ceiling in here.
Yeah. Now, when you came over, the bridge, where did the sand start? Like, where did you? When you got over the bridge?
Right on the base of the bridge, all the way down, it was 4 to 5 feet of sand.
Was anybody else there? I mean, were people walking?
There was a few people coming out of their homes that stayed on the island, but majority there was nobody here. My son and I we just started clearing the road to get through, and our clearing the road was just to be able to get the truck through.
Yeah.
It was, and then getting everybody loaded up and getting them out of here was priority one. The next day we brought a 50-person team in and really started assessing the property. When you look at the damage, we had more damage than we saw from the second event. So we were on the island the 28th, 29th, and then we had to be evacuated off the island for search and rescue.
You're right.
So, but that time period, the building was down. We couldn't button up the roofs. So the rain event that happened on October 9th caused more damage to our units than the storm did. So, fortunately for us, we have 2 claims with our insurance because of that. Because it's the Ian event and then a rain event that was 9 days later.
I was just thinking about it last night. The red tide, the COVID, and then this freaking monster storm. It's like we need a break for about a decade, and everybody needs to.
You forgot BP oil spill.
Yeah, I wasn't even here for that one.
Crash.
So let's take a walk,
Sure.
And you can kind of take us through what we're looking at. Obviously, everybody that has been to the Pink Shell knows that we're coming through the lobby area.
Yeah, any of the resorts on the island, the biggest challenges that we all have together are the elevators. Obviously, all got flooded. We have building operational. But that took a little bit of time to get that going. And pools wise.
So normally we'd have what here? I mean, what was
Glass doors.
Okay.
So these blew out, and the glass upstairs all blew out. So the storm surge. We'll go out here and I'll give you an idea. The storm surge is all the way up to the ceiling.
It's still hard to believe by looking at how far out the water is that the storm surge came all the way this far in and that high up.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have videos from the staff that were here that the whole waterfall, the octopus, completely submerged. So
Jump in anytime you want, Gary.
So our Bongos bar was here. Obviously, it was completely wiped out with the storm. The Octopool is all the pools when you build close to the CCL line are on pilings. So typically your pools are able to sustain, you know, the water draining and the storm surge. So this Octopool is pretty much ready to go. It's got a little bit of cleaning, some tile work we've got to do. We already rebuilt all the pumps. That's the other big challenge right now. If you were to go and try to get a pool pump brand new, you
Can't find them, or they're
can't
too
find them.
okay.
I mean, you just can't find them. You're looking at 8 to 12 months for motors and pumps. We rebuilt all of ours. There's a North Fort Myers Matter Electric. They rebuild the electronics. They do all the county work. We brought them up there, and they did a great job getting them back to us. But give you a perspective of the storm surge.
Up in the rays up here, it was taken out too. All up in through there, blew the front glass out.
Yeah. So the storm surge just crested above those that terrace upstairs.
Oh my God.
So just imagine right now we would be completely underneath the water in the storm surge. So our restaurant, we'll walk over here. So this is hurricane and turtle glass.
Yeah.
And
So that withstood everything.
as you can see, the storm surge blew it out.
Oh, I see.
And these are all compromised, so that's all got to be replaced. But they didn't break. They just literally the force of the storm surge pushed them down.
So if they were built for hurricane and they didn't hold up, that's not your fault?
Not our fault. The manufacturer came out, but they're not built for 18-foot storm surge. So unfortunately, so they came out because they wanted to see it. How their glass didn't hold, so they could relook at their designs. But you just imagine the full force of the storm.
So they're built for the wind. They're not built for the storm surge.
Storm surge is a whole other story.
It's always something.
Yeah.
That's what you hear a lot about on the island. It wasn't wind, it was water. It wasn't water, it wasn't wind, and everybody's got to fight with the insurance companies on all that. So tell
As
us.
you can see, all the glass, all hurricane glass, all fine. We had some minor, window here in an office, and then obviously storm surge over there pushed the glass. But, when you look at all the glazing on the resort, 99% and all of our buildings are fine.
Yeah.
So the hurricane glass did what it was going to do. Any hurricane glass on the ground level obviously was compromised from the storm surge.
Yeah. And tell us about the different number of rooms that you have open right now.
So we've got, so this building right now is we're taking advantage of a renovation we had started. We had started a $7 million renovation. These could have been open, but we are obviously moving forward with doing the renovation now with the downtime. But we have two other buildings which have 1-bedroom units and studios, and those are open and pretty much 100% of the guests in there are FEMA families.
Okay.
The FEMA families, if you feel for them, because I'll give you an example. Come February 11th, right now they're all on a checkout date. They don't know if they'll get extended or not until a day, 24 to 48 hours in advance.
When you say FEMA families, are they the ones running the trucks?
No, these are the FEMA families that I had a residence and I lost it and I have
Oh.
nowhere to go and I'm living out of my car.
Oh, I see. I see.
So-
FEMA's paying for them to stay there. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
displaced residents. So it's and let Gary speak more to that because he deals with it every day with the FEMA
I
family.
mean, it's kind of, it's unfortunate for them because they've lost everything. You hear the stories from them. But for them to be here, have a peaceful view. We've had a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
guests with some, touching stories about, having kind of a new lease on life after all of this and the situation that they were in prior to here, and then being able to come and, experience the pink shell and see
Yeah.
the beach and kind of get their life back together.
Are they all from Southwest Florida, or are they from where?
Right here, all
Right around
local.
the area.
Oh,
Myers
okay.
Beach,
A lot of the folks were, in Orlando trying to put back together their life here in Fort Myers. And
we have a shrimper, one of the shrimper.
Okay,
gentlemen
all right.
that are here.
And you said how many rooms
About 70. We've had 70 rooms, about 70 families.
in 2 different buildings? Or
Two
that
different
okay?
buildings,
And so, what? Tell us how many rooms are open here in the resort.
Here's 92 units. None of them are open yet.
Okay.
We're just doing all the drywall work and all of just the renovation of these units. These will come online through the month of April and all done by May 1st, and they'll be completely done. We'll go over and see a unit in one of the other buildings. We've got a guest that checked out and waiting for another FEMA
Okay.
arrival. But as soon as we have a FEMA checkout, we have pretty much another FEMA
Okay.
coming right back in. But it's a challenge for them because they don't know
Right.
from 2 weeks out where they're.
Then where do they
put their
go
head
after
down.
that? They don't know where they're going after that either.
Yeah.
So when you say April here, do you mean that people can get online from across the country, or is it going to be more FEMA people? Or you're not sure.
Well, it's a good question. I think for the guest that's coming down, we'll just take an example, Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
That guest that wants to come down from Chicago, there's a couple things they're going to want. They're going to want a pool. They're going to want a fully working elevator.
Yeah.
We've got a restaurant, and they'll want a bar. We can do a portable bar out here. We hope to have the pool up in the next 60 days, and we'll have working elevators. So potentially, yes, we could start taking transient guests. I think the FEMA funding is going to at some point dry
Run out,
up.
yeah.
And, at that point of that drying up, we hope to have a lot of the facilities up and going to where we can take those transient guests to help the other businesses that are trying
Yeah.
to get off their feet.
You don't think people would just say, okay, that room's open. I don't care if there's a pool. I don't care if there's a bar. I just want to be on Fort Myers Beach and sit right there. I hear a lot of that. So,
yeah,
and they can say,
you know-
I'm at the Pink Shell. They don't have a pool or a bar, but I'm sitting out in the sand. I'm having a good old time on the beach,
Well,
especially being that it's 1 degree in Buffalo right now.
We would love that to happen. That's for sure.
Let's take a kind of a look out here so people that are freezing their butts off right now can see what we can see. And obviously you guys had all your lawn chairs and
Yeah, so we lost our cheeky huts. So we had we're a unique property in that we have liquor rights all the way to the water. So we're able
No
to
kidding.
serve alcohol out on the beach. If you go through the state of Florida, you can probably only count on one hand those resorts that have that ability. So, and we're one of them. We lost our bar that was out on the beach. We lost our cheeky huts. We lost our water sports building that Sharon and Kevin Fairclough operated out of the last 30 years. So, we're rebuilding them. As we walk down, you'll see them getting rebuilt here, and we'll get them back out.
so when nothing changes, like you're still grandfathered in about the selling the alcohol on the beach, right? They can't say.
No, it's still a right that we have.
And is there any coastal construction line concerns now, or we're still good?
The only coastal construction line we're working on right now is just like we could put the fence back where we've got it.
Mhm.
We would just it actually jetties in front of the middle building, and
Okay.
we're asking this to be able to keep the same depth that this pool deck and the deck on the other side has, and that's the only thing we're working on right now.
Now, what was here? Then what kind of fence was here?
So it was just like aluminum fencing you see up there.
Okay, okay,
It was
I
just-
remember now. Yeah. And that all is somewhere else now. It's
Gone.
in
Gone.
the back bay or at somebody's
Gone.
yard. Yeah.
Gone. The other thing we did, which was, our response team, we brought our own sifter in. So we scooped up all the sand that was, the pool was full of sand, the pool deck, the parking lots. And then we sifted it and we laid it back out on the beach. So that's why when you
Yeah,
look
it
in
looks
front of
nice
our
here.
beach, it's because we took care of it with
I
our
see.
own sand.
Did you have one of those giant machines that you? Holy Christmas! Those things are like marvels of. It's just an incredible
The
machine.
amount of debris that comes out
Yeah.
of there is amazing. So we did that for our section of the beach because it was important for us to make sure
Hell yeah! It looks.
it's maintained.
It looks perfect
But you
out
kind
there.
of see, unfortunately, some of the condo association that haven't able to do that and what it looks like.
You have to build dunes here too, or
We are working with the beach restoration program for that easement,
Okay.
and where we place the dune back on the property. Our dune was right up against the fence line.
yeah.
To be more turtle compliant, we'd like the dune to be a little bit further out, so you'd have fence line, sand, then a dune, so we could actually pull things in behind the dune during turtle season, which is usually the challenge.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to leave it out on the beach. So we're working with Chad and the town and DEP about where the dune gets placed back on the beach.
Now you brought the turtles up, so let's talk about the glass. You guys were like on top of it before the storm, working on getting all the glass replaced, and you got a grant for that. Tell us all about.
Yeah, so as the rooms come fully online, they'll be fully tinted and with the 60% tint, which is over and above.
Right.
So we don't have to worry about the guests closing the blinds. That's usually where the challenge is. I'm from Chicago or Wisconsin. I'm not familiar and you can have all the signage you want, but the guests just want to watch the stars
That's right.
and look out, and they leave them open, not knowing that it's a detriment to the turtles. So we found the best way is just fix that problem, tint the windows so the guests don't have to worry about it, and we are turtle compliant. And then all of our lighting that goes in on the ground level or anything facing the beach, we were able to get grant money that's replacing all of that lighting.
Nice.
So
Now all those is that the glass already, or is that?
this building is not fully tinted
Okay.
yet. So,
It looks pretty dark right
it's
now.
dark. It's a 20%. So
That's-
it
okay.
was 60.
All right. Where do we go to next?
We can head on down this way.
We're at the Pink Shell, everybody. I'm sure you all know that, but anybody that doesn't, we're at the Pink Shell Resort on Fort Myers Beach, getting a nice tour with Bill and Gary. So this, yeah,
Be with us
yeah.
this morning.
So all this whole thing was covered in sand.
Covered in sand.
How high do you think the sand was?
It was about 2 to 3 feet of sand
Wow.
throughout the whole deck.
Like a snowstorm.
Yeah, and then the pool was completely filled.
You got to stand out here that first day and think, man, this is a major project we're about to start right here.
That tint that you see up there on the Jack's restaurant,
Yeah.
that's all turtle. So this building's is fully occupied. We've blocked off all the balconies because we've got balcony work to do. Another item is in high demand is aluminum fencing. So in order to get the rooms up and going, we block them off so you can't go out on the balconies in this building.
Now that edge of the building there, is that storm damage or is that
Storm, wind damage, it's just more of
cosmetic?
cosmetic.
Yeah.
On this side of the building, kind of got shut down during the storm.
And if you look at how the wind was, you can see how the balconies are all fine. But when
Yeah.
you look at the edge, at the end, how it was just whipping around, so it just pulled everything out. And that's where balcony damage was done on this building. But the front of the face of the building, none of the balconies were really damaged, and you have many with screens still in. Back.
Do you have, and obviously had a structural engineer come in and they were like, yeah, we're good. You guys
Structural
are good.
engineer came in on all the buildings, and we were completely fine.
Nice.
No issues. All breakaway walls did what they were supposed to do, like for the bathrooms. The retail area down here, the breakaway walls.
So for people that don't know what that is, the breakaway walls are built for this specific reason, right?
Yep,
They-
they're
for-
to let the water flow through.
and so
versus,
you had them here by the bathrooms, and where else did you have them that?
So the whole ground level.
I see.
Anywhere on the ground level, when we walk over here in this other building, those are all breakaway walls. Because if you don't have the breakaway walls, what ends up happening is you have the water. It starts banging against obviously the structure of the building and causes the structure of the building
Okay.
to be compromised. The breakaway walls come down, the water flows through, goes around the columns, and doesn't cause any structural damage.
And still, but it was still 18 feet up in the air, right? So,
Love those engineers.
yeah. And so, how high up is with the wall? How high up the walls are? 12 feet? 10 feet? The breakaway walls?
The breakaway, yeah, 10 feet. So
Crazy.
with that water just flowing through, and as you look back at it, you can kind of see that almost that line. You can see where the tiles are missing there. That was where the water was cresting up and banging up against the building.
I'll never forget the day that Chief Martin said to me, when the storm surge, if there's a real storm surge, the back bay is going to connect to the Gulf of Mexico. And I was like, you can't picture that in your mind ever, that's going to connect. But that's exactly what happened. It had to be so fierce.
We always talked about it. Our docks, the floating docks, cement pilings, and we've always said the docks were literally warranted up to a Cat 3 hurricane. So we've always said if we ever lose the docks, we got bigger problems to worry about.
Oh, yeah.
Because the docks literally floated off those pilings. All the cement pilings are all there. The docks just floated because of the storm surge and floated away.
Where'd they go?
I have no idea.
You think they're on the bottom somewhere out there in the bay?
They're over
In the mangroves.
Probably Bunch Beach
Yeah.
across the bay.
All right. Let's keep
So you can see we're rebuilding our 12 by 12 barn. It goes back out on the beach. So we're getting that constructed and get back out there.
What do you got in the boxes there?
Those are bathtubs for the renovation of this building. So
got everything going on.
With supplies wise, that's the biggest challenge. Electrical supplies, plumbing, things like that. Just getting in here. And if we can get it here, we're storing it here so we can get it in.
Yeah.
Because the lead time is just tremendous right now. For a lot of
dumb
items.
question. Was that a pool?
It was a little splash pool. We took the advantage of wanting to change it up, so we took it out. It was partially damaged with the storm, so we just decided to take it completely out.
What are you going to put there?
It's kind of a big canvas. We're looking at. We can walk down here. This is where I mentioned that the fence line where it jets in. We're looking for the fence line on the other pool deck. Came all the way out to where the orange is now.
Yep.
And just to be able to meet these two pool decks as one. So we're looking at what can we do on the pool decks. We lost our marina shower building that was in between the buildings. The question is, should we take the advantage of building a little tower and building a slide into a drop pool here? Do we have the ability to redesign this pool deck with a lazy river rather than a pool? How do we take advantage of the fact that you wouldn't do this construction while you're open.
Right.
It's just it'd be detrimental to the guest
Business,
experience. But it is the opportunity to do these things now. So we're kind of in the planning stages of what we're looking to do and trying to see.
You guys just get in a room somewhere and throw ideas on the wall and see, which one. Who gets to make? Do you get to make? Okay, we're going with that one.
The two principal owners, Bob and Jack Boykin, they're the decision makers. So they, fortunately for us, we don't have a large corporate that we have to go through. It's the two Boykins making the decisions of what they want to do.
Awesome. So you're going to show us one of the rooms, right? Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. Lead the way here.
Be great too if we could do updates every couple of months and just to kind of see your progress and what you decided to do with some of the spots that you're reworking. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Those were bathrooms.
Yeah.
This building is 2007, so it's still brand newer construction. This was 07 and the main building's 2004. So
when
you
was
can kind of see, what the newer construction is able to handle versus something built in the 50s.
Well, how long has the hotel been on this property? Like, when was it first built?
1950s.
The 1950s one probably wouldn't have.
It was all little cottages.
Okay.
The last 2 cottages that we had on the resort, we lost. They were employee housing. We lost the 2 cottages. They floated away.
All right, everybody. This is my first time in an elevator since the storm.
Working elevator.
A working elevator?
Is this the only working elevator on the island?
I think us and Diamond Head have
Okay.
one also. Other than that, I don't think there's any others.
And you have Wi-Fi in the elevator too.
Our Wi-Fi is up too. Yeah.
Nice big audience watching.
So we're gonna check out guest room 3301.
3301, everybody. I don't want to. Howdy.
So this here is one of our 1-bedroom capsule villas.
Okay.
So, as Bill mentioned, the lanais are all closed off, due to the
Mhm.
damage outside. But
We've locked them off, and then we've obviously put signs that they do not open. But we have DirecTVs live. We have Wi-Fi that's live. CenturyLink is a mess out here on the island.
It is.
Our phone system coming into is like a spaghetti mess out on the road, and unfortunately, right now, getting responses from CenturyLink has been
Really?
very difficult. So we're actually starting to look at going what they call voice over IP, where we go over the internet. We're getting ready to get a fiber cable from Comcast put in permanently, which I highly recommend any businesses on this island. There's fiber going down the island. Get
Get
the
it in
fiber
now.
direct to your business, because if you ever have a storm again or a car hits the pole, you never lose your internet because it's underneath the ground, and it's as long as you got power, you're going to have the internet.
So this obviously people want to see the
where
view.
yeah, you can see the.
Now this is 20%.
This is 60. This
Is
turtle,
60?
This is 60. This is the turtle.
Oh, wow.
Turtle approved glass.
It doesn't really look like
not
there was a
bad.
lot of complaints about it's going to be dark and you're not
You're
going
getting a good. We went up and we came up here and I said, this is not going to affect the guest experience.
No, not
Why
if it's
not
like that.
do it and be compliant and not have an issue with the turtles. So we went ahead and tinted. So this has already been done.
The glass that some people were showing made it look like, like that. I mean, it was
It's
and
not bad.
it's always
and this
I
is
highly
completely
recommend.
turtle friendly. I mean,
This
can
is-
you leave the lights on
Yeah,
and the drapes
yeah.
open?
Yeah,
At
it does
night.
Not, when they do the
Wow.
light sensor out, it does not affect the. So that's why we like it. It's just it's a guest convenience, and we don't have to, hound
Harass
the
them
guests.
about shut the blinds.
Especially if you're spending $800, $900 a night, and you got somebody calling you at 9:30, and you wake up the kids.
Right.
Can you close your drapes? I mean, it's just not a great. It's not a great memory maker for
No,
the
yeah.
experience. So.
Never going back there. All they did was harass me about the.
Exactly. Can't take the view away from it.
For sure. All right. So where do we go next?
We could
Head back
down and
at-
show the restaurant here.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, every day currently our only meal period right now, we're open for lunch, 11 a.m. to 1:30 a.m.
And that's to the public.
Correct.
11 to 1:30. You guys were been open for.
$14.99 a person. Right now, that's the only meal period we have to offer at this time.
We're third floor, right? Right now. Third. Okay. Third floor. Gorgeous.
So our big things right now is just the roofing, getting the roofing finalized, and then getting the painting done. And once the painting's done, then it's doing landscaping. So stages for the main building.
Yeah.
So we're about 16 weeks from having the roofs completely finished.
16 weeks. So
Yeah.
if you were to take a guess to say everything's open and back to normal and you don't have to worry about any storm-related issues, how long is that going to take?
Everything back to normal. I think we're looking at sometime in 24, early 24 being.
That's not bad.
For us, we'll be back. I think this year we're taking it as it's kind of the rebuild year, and partially open.
Yeah.
This is our makeshift front desk. Right now, usually over.
Yeah. So we're at Jack's.
Good morning. How are you?
Morning. Another spectacular view.
So again, turtle glass, and the only glass that the only one that cracked. Other than that, all the glass held. So.
Wow, that's amazing. Got to see the view, everybody. Looks great.
It's beautiful.
Yep. Man, the sand looks awesome. Do you think you got all the little pieces of glass out of it too? Because you hear people talk about, even they go through those sifters and there was just so much stuff.
It was a big effort with the sifting machine here, and the amount of debris coming out of it was tremendous. But we're pretty confident, and we rake it every morning.
Okay.
So even though we're not, the guests aren't out there, we're keeping it raked and maintained.
Our recreation director has this magnet on wheels with a stick that goes over top of it and it picks up
Nice.
the metals.
Just to
that are
keep-
still, in our parking lots on this side.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing the number of machines I've learned about that clean sand.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else you want to show us?
I think that's and you want to see the docks and how the piling stayed, and the docks.
It'd be a good way to finish up out there by the water. How have lunches been going? You having good response from the public coming in?
Yeah,
And
we've got about we do about 50 covers every day. Mainly people wanting to come to the beach and at least see what it looks like, and go out and put their feet in the sand and,
Yes.
and be able to have lunch somewhere.
So you said that nobody's going out. Well, you don't have regular guests yet, so so nobody's going out in the sand yet.
The FEMA guests that are here are, they all have jobs, so they're literally putting their head down, and then they're going out to where they work.
Gotcha.
And coming back, they're really not using the facility as a typical guest.
So if somebody's I think you probably already said that maybe April people can book a room and sit in the sand.
That's our hope, and but we're conscious of. We feel the right thing right now is just taking care of the FEMA guests.
Yeah.
These are people that have nowhere else to go. So if we can do our part with the community, and still be able to keep our employees employed, it's a win-win for everybody.
Such a sissy. I got to put my hood on because it's windy.
We had 330 employees, pre-storm, and
Yeah.
we have about 100 now.
I see.
So just to give you a perspective on that. The day that'll make me extremely happy is the day when I start calling them all back to come back to work.
Yeah. I'm sure some of them have other jobs and have to have other jobs, but I'm sure they can't wait to come back to work here either.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think many also moved out of the area.
Yeah. That house right there. Who owns that, Bill?
The gentleman lives in California. He has it. I'm not sure what his plans are for it. We own the property on the other side, so.
Well, clearly it's got to come down.
I would agree 100%.
I mean, there's nothing there except
And the
for.
sailboat moved.
I'm surprised it hasn't fallen on itself. How is it standing?
The fire department, they taped it off that it's not an unsafe structure.
For sure.
It's tagged, so I think.
So has he been back that you know of to say, I got to take care of this or something? At some point, it's an eyesore.
He was back once. I just haven't. He hasn't back since. So.
So you own all this? You guys own all this?
Yeah, we own the lot on the other side of that building you were just speaking of. All of this, all the way down, and on the other side also. So, we're one of the largest property owners on the beach, from acreage wise.
And you were saying you had docks here so people could park their boats.
So,
And
one of the big differences when you look at the Pink Shell versus other resorts, is these docks that we had, and give you that floating dock that's left over there. That's on our other parcel, and that's all that's left of that dock. But you can see these mammoth concrete pilings we had. I mean, they're robust. I mean, they're spun concrete. They held up through the storm, except for 5 of them. And 5 of them snapped off, just to give you the pure force that the docks had. 5 of them snapped off, but most of them stayed. But the docks, the water level was so high that these docks floated over above that and then gone.
so how deep into the ground do these go?
About 35 to 55 feet, depending on if they hit bedrock. But they're down.
Like
deep.
35 feet when you're already on the ground.
Yes.
And how deep is the water?
8 to 12.
Okay. And you had docks all the way through here.
All the way down.
Oh, jeez.
A big V.
40 slips.
41 slips, and we can handle up to a 120-foot yacht. So.
And you were saying that they were only insured up to a Cat 3?
They were warranted to a Cat 3.
Oh, I see.
Warranted,
so
yeah.
You got to replace them all yourself.
Yeah, it's all on an insurance claim. Yeah. And the company, I actually just met with them yesterday. The manufacturer's right in our backyard. It's Golden Docks. They're in North Fort Myers.
Okay.
They're gonna build them there, American made, and we're gonna put them out. So the docks will start construction. They're receiving the materials now. March 1st, they'll start welding all the aluminum docks together, and we'll start receiving them around May 1st.
Oh,
and
great!
We'll start installing. So we're hoping to have the marina fully back by July.
That's great. That's great. Anything else you guys want to share together, Bill, Gary?
No, we thank everybody, and be patient. Come visit us. Come have lunch in Jack's. We'd appreciate it. If you're having trouble finding parking on the beach, we have parking that we're charging. You're more than welcome. We have public bathrooms too. So, but we hope the day comes soon that we're fully back to normal.
Well, thank you guys for taking us on the tour, and we hope to do it again in a couple months and get an update.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ed.
All right, thank you.